Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to the Curvy E Chronicles. It is Vlogmas day. I don't even know anymore, but we're baking cookies. Let's do it. So I do have my Mrs. Claus Baked with Love apron on, and we are going to be making white chocolate cranberry cookies. These are some of my favorite. I absolutely love them, and they're not very difficult. So let's get started. Side note, we will be making 4 different kinds of cookies. I just happen to be making these ones today. We're gonna do a classic chocolate chip, a oatmeal raisin for all of my fellow raisin lovers, and a hot cocoa cookie. So stay tuned for the rest of the video because there is more to come.
All right, friends, we are diving right in head first to my favorite cookie, the white chocolate chip cranberry cookie. Yes, so this is a double batch, so everything is a double measurement. We have 3 sticks of butter, a half cup of sugar, a cup and a half of brown sugar, and we are going to beat that till it's nice and whipped like. I will have all the recipes linked down below for the actual measurements. Like I said, this is a double batch and it made a lot of cookies, which was great. But I did have to do 2 double batches in order to get enough for my cookie exchange. So just beating down or scraping down the sides here. This is what we want it to look like. So it does call for 2 eggs. I had one of my eggs was a double yolker, so I still did 2 eggs just to be on the safe side. And then it does call for a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I don't measure vanilla. I measure it with my heart. It's one of those things. So that's what we do. And while that is mixing, we are going to sift our dry ingredients. So like I said, this is a double batch. So 4 cups of flour, 4 teaspoons of cornstarch, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt. Because ironically, salt makes things sweeter because it offers balance or something like that. I don't know. But we're going to sift it to get all the lumps and bumps out, give it a quick stir, and then we are going to slowly add it into our cookie mixture once it looks like this. And be very careful because I like to make a permanent flour mess in my kitchen every time I bake. And then I tell myself it is, because I always bake at night for some reason, I tell it's a Courtney's tomorrow problem. So then we are going to go in with the goods. So it does call for a cup of cranberries and 3/4 cup of white chocolate chips on a standard recipe. So of course that means 2.5 cups of cranberries and a full bag of white chocolate chips this time around, right? Yes, right. So once that is all mixed and combined and delicious, we are going to put it on a pan. I have I think it's a 1/2 inch cookie scooper, maybe a 1 inch cookie scooper. I don't know the exact details, but these go in a 350-degree oven for 12 minutes. And 12 minutes exactly. Do not over bake them. You will ruin them. And then I just lay out some wax paper on my kitchen table and just once my cookies have cooled probably about 5-6 minutes, then I stick them on there. They turned out so good.
Okay, friends, audible time. Yes, I look different than last time, and that is because this is days later. We are cooking different types of cookies. The last time I was making cookies for a cookie exchange I was going to. This time we are cooking the ones we are going to deliver to our neighbors. But instead of oatmeal cookies, we are going to do this recipe I found for Peppermint Oreo cookies. I have my helper. Claire. This is Claire. So that's what's up next.
I have quite the concert going on in my house right now as we have just learned our Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So this does call for Andes mints, but I did not find them. I just found some peppermint bark bars that I just cut up. I did 2 big bars, and then I did a whole sleeve of Oreos, -2, because of course I had to feed the gremlins. Then we are going to take 1 box of white cake mix, 4 ounces of cream cheese, a stick of butter, a splash of vanilla. It does call for peppermint extract. I didn't have that, so I just used some peppermint flavoring. It worked. And then 1 egg, and we are going to whip that together. This dough is very sticky. So once all that's together, we add in the goods along with a 1/2 cup chocolate chips, and then we mix that slightly. And then I transferred this over to a different bowl to refrigerate for an hour, and then we got to work on our classic chocolate chips. So I am following a Crumble cookie copycat recipe. So we are going to take a cup of butter, so 2 sticks of butter. We are going to cream it together on its own. I do have my helpers helping me with this one, so it gets a little wild in here. Then we are going to add in our here's what I'm talking about. We just get to start throwing things. Our brown sugar and our white sugar, and honestly, I don't remember the measurements. It'll be all linked down below. And then we're going to go into our dry ingredients, which I believe is 3 cups of flour, 3 1/4 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, and a teaspoon of salt. While our butter and sugars are creaming, this recipe does say to cream them for 5 minutes because we want it nice and fluffy. So then we're going to add in our eggs one at a time and give them a minute to incorporate, a minute each. So we do 1 egg and then the next egg, and then we mix it up for a minute each time, and then we add in our vanilla, and then we let that go until it gets nice and fluffy like you see here. Then we're going to slowly but surely add in our dry ingredients and just mix all of that together. This is also kind of a sticky dough. The first time I did this recipe, I did have to refrigerate my dough, but this time I didn't. Y'all, I'm terrible at getting flour in my bowl. Then it does call for 2 to 3 cups of chocolate chips, so we kind of just eyeballed that. Mix those in nice and soft like. Now technically the recipe calls for using a 1/3 cup scoop and putting like 12 cookies on the thing. I did not do that. I just went ahead and used my regular scooper that I had, and I did 350 for 12 minutes on these guys as well. While those were baking, we started on our hot chocolate cookie. So this is a cup of butter, so 2 sticks of butter, 1 cup of sugar, 2/3 cup of brown sugar, and we're going to cream that together. And then in our sifter, we are going to do 3 1/4 cup of flour, a cup or 3/4 cup, goodness, that's a lot of numbers, of hot cocoa mix, not the sugar-free kind. We did a teaspoon of baking soda and 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and along with a little bit of salt. Add in our 2 eggs and our vanilla to get that nice and creamy. I did end up adding in 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder just to make sure it was extra chocolatey. So dump these in slowly but surely, and then we're going to add in the marshmallow bits. So you have to use these dried marshmallow bits. I got these ones off of Amazon for when I make hot cocoa bombs, but I know they sell the like marshmallow tidbits in the container at Walmart or something like that, but I just got a big bag off of Amazon. And then we're going to do a cup of each of that marshmallows and chocolate chips. Stir those up, put them on the baking sheet. I will say these came out and cooked really flat, and they come out kind of crispy. So I don't know if I cooked them for too long, but I did only cook them for 10 minutes like they said. And then this is our chilled dough for the Peppermint Oreo ones. And surprise, bonus recipe. So I love making these little simple pretzel candy treats. A lot of people use Rolos with them. I don't. I use Hershey Kisses. So I get a couple of kinds of Hershey Kisses. This year we're using plain chocolate, sugar cookie, and cookies and cream. I did end up finding a peppermint bark one at the bottom of my bag, and I just decided to skip it. But we're going to stick those in the oven for like 2-3 minutes at 250 till they're melted, and then we take some M&Ms and we just shove the M&Ms on top, and you let them sit overnight, and they turn out delicious. So this is our cookie baking of the season. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, recipes will be linked down below that I did follow loosely. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for hanging out with me while we were baking. We did taste test all of these, and they are all Erickson household approved. So I appreciate you guys being here. Until next time, remember to spread kindness like glitter. Bye, y'all.